Hello and welcome to one and all. So today's class, we'll check out the next topic in the second unit, that is the human resource development. So we already discussed about what is the meaning of human capital or the human capital formation, isn't it? The same thing, the human resource development. So available labor force, how we are converting into a resource. So by providing the proper education, training, and also the health facilities. So then the same labor force in the country, they will turn into your asset, they will turn into your resource. Or to put it very simply, the human capital formation or human capital is the human resource development. So that is the concept, that is the meaning. So that means what? Converting the available labor force into a resource by providing them proper education, skill, training, and health facilities. So investing on human capital turns the labor force into a resource. Okay. So the importance of human resource development, it's understandable, isn't it? The labor force will be more productive. To put an give an example regarding this importance of human resource development. So there was an empirical evidence or empirical observation conducted in the uh, by some of the survey was conducted in the American manufacturing industry. So anything which is practically done a survey, and if the results were drawn out of that, we say that is empirical evidence. Okay, so there was a survey conducted on the American manufacturing industry regarding the output produced by the labor and capital, the physical capital and human capital. How much percentage of the output is contributed by the physical capital and how much percentage is contributed by the human capital. There was a famous production function known as the Cobb-Douglas production function. So those who are doing the CPT, then they will come to know about this Cobb-Douglas production function. So two economists, they conducted Cobb and Douglas. So they conducted an experiment on the American manufacturing industry. And this is what they have found out. That is 1/4 of the output is contributed by physical capital. That is machinery and tools, etc. And the remaining 3/4 of the output by human capital. So this is the advantage of having the efficient labor force in a particular country. So we all know that most of the developed countries, their population is less, their labor support is very less for them. But still, how come they are being so developed? They are able to maintain that development because the productivity per labor keeps on increasing. That is again because they are having the better health and education and training and all those facilities. So on the one hand, for countries like India, on the one hand, we are supposed to control the growth of population. At the same time, the production in the country also has to keep on increasing. So what is the solution? With the available labor force, the productivity should keep on increasing, isn't it? So if that has to happen in a country, so not only in the field of production, in all the areas, production, manufacturing, administration, politics, everywhere. So everywhere, this productivity of the labor force should keep on increasing. So that can be done one day if there is a proper human capital investment is done by the country. Okay. So there are two parts here. We need both the education and health. So it is first part is education. What is the role of education in the economic development? And the second one is what is the role of health in the economic development? So first let us see what is the role of education in economic development. Role of education in economic development. So the first one, education and economic development. What are all the advantages of investing on education? So that's what we are going to check. Advantages of investment on education. So what are all the benefits we'll get? First and foremost, we'll get this. The available labor force will be more skilled and knowledgeable. So automatically, the productivity of the labor force will increase. So the skill and knowledge creates more productive labor force in the country. That's the first and foremost benefits of investing on education. Then the next is more job and income earning opportunities. So if the laborers are proper, the available population in the country, if they are properly educated, trained and skilled, automatically they will become employable. So there will be more job opportunities to the available labor force, and higher the qualification, the better skilled a person is, automatically the income earning opportunities will also keep on increasing. Okay. And the next, we are having the educated leaders. You can have educated leaders all over. And the most important thing, the modern attitudes will develop. We'll keep on saying, isn't it, like social factors hindering the progress of the country. So people are, especially in the rural areas, they're all having the superstitious and outdated beliefs, which is preventing the development of the country. So once the education is proper education is provided all over, automatically that modern attitudes will develop in among the people. Okay, so the first advantage. Then the second one, education and reduction of income inequalities. So why the income inequalities is arising? Because one person is capable, I mean better than the other person. So that is because his skill is different. He's a better skilled person, he's a better educated person, so he's having the better job opportunities, and automatically his income is also relatively higher. So this, there is a lot of disparities, the income inequalities is arising. So if everybody in the country, if they are provided that equal opportunities and accessibility, affordability for proper education and also for proper training and skill, everyone will be capable of earning better and better income. So the gap between the richer sections and the poorer sections will be decreasing. So for that, there will be proper universal education should be provided to all the sections of the population in the country. So proper universal education. I mean, universal education means providing education to all the sections of the population. So this assures the capacity of the people all around will increase. Okay, all over the country, the capacity of the people will be enhanced. So it assures the capacity of every human being. So it is not that only one section of the people able to having the accessibility and affordability for better education. So it should be accessible to all the people in the country. So every human being, and this automatically everyone, there will not be any income inequalities. Everyone will be able to earn more and more amount of income. Automatically will be able to earn more income. We have seen that uh, the World Bank has classified based on the per capita income, the countries are divided into developed countries and the developing countries, isn't it? So it has been said that one of the main reasons of income inequalities between the developed and developing countries, the categorization itself is based on the per capita income. So developed countries, they are all having a high real per capita income. The underdeveloped or the developing countries, they are all having the low real per capita income. So the main reason for that income inequalities between the developed countries and the developing countries is because of their lack of income earning opportunities in the developing countries. So if not only within the country, if all the people in the developing countries, all the labor force in the developing countries are increasing their quality, so then automatically everybody's income earning capacity will increase and the gap between the developed countries and the developing countries will keep on decreasing. Okay. Then the third importance significance is rural development. So what are all the advantages of, there are so many advantages as far as rural areas are concerned. First and foremost, it prevents the superstitious beliefs among the rural folk. So they will start getting that modern attitudes and start participating in the process of economic development. Then if the farmer has that basic education, he will be able to adopt the modern methods of cultivation in agriculture. So adoption of modern methods of cultivation by farmer in agriculture. Then so if the education facilities are provided in the rural areas, they themselves can set up the cottage industries. So there will be alternative employment available to the rural people. They need not have to depend on agriculture. So we can solve the problem of disguised unemployment. So cottage industries in the sense that all the handicrafts industries. So if they have at least the minimum qualification, minimum knowledge, then they, I mean, now they are all forced to depend on agriculture because they do not know anything else. So minimum qualification is minimum education, minimum knowledge is provided to them. So they themselves will realize that agriculture is not fetching them any money income. So they themselves can start looking opportunities, job opportunities elsewhere. They can set up their own cottage industries and earn alternative income. Okay. And we also know agriculture is a seasonal employment. So at off season, they can start earning money income through alternative employment also. So by having that skill and knowledge to set up cottage industries. So there are a lot of benefits of uh, cottage industries. So apart from providing the alternative employment, apart from reducing the disguised unemployment in agriculture, it is cottage industries one of the main exports. The products of the cottage industries are one of the main exports of our country. So there are a lot of other opportunities are also by depending on by getting employed in the cottage industries. Opportunity for alternative employment and reducing the problem of disguised unemployment. And we have seen that if everybody migrates to urban area, we will have the problem of urbanization also. So that problem can also be solved if the cottage industries are set up in the rural areas itself. Right? So many advantages are there. So many advantages are there if the people are uh, can set up their own cottage industries. So in order to have their own cottage industries, they should have the minimum education. Okay, disguised unemployment in agriculture. Okay, then the next is the most important problem which we are facing, family planning. So they will understand the problems of more number of members in the family. They will understand the problems of overpopulation in the country. That awareness will come, and also women education. So direct attack on controlling the growth rate of population in the country. So the first and foremost, people will become aware of the importance of small size of family. So this the standard of living increases, because if they are educated, they will be employed in industries, and once they are employed in industries and once they start getting the regular income, automatically their standard of living increases. So then they will realize that one more person will become a burden, and their standard they will have to go back to the same original situation. So automatically they themselves will, that understanding capacity will develop in the people. So automatically they themselves will reduce the size of their family. And this one, the women education. So if more gender empowerment measure, so if more women are participating in all the areas, political or economic participation, automatically that will discourage to have more members in the family. They will, most of the women, they will start going out earning income. So once they get the taste of it, they will not like to sit down and take care of the baby. Okay, so they said women education is almost like an ultimate solution to control the overpopulation in the country. So women education leads to, and for that there should be equal opportunities should be given to women also. That's why we are all those indices, gender development index, gender empowerment measure, which country is providing the equal opportunities. So all these indices are required, because then only the process of economic development in any country will be smooth. Okay, so women education leads to more employment opportunities, to women, thus discouraging more employment to women. The opportunity should be given in all the areas. Equal preference should be given to women as much as been given to men also. Having an additional child in the family. Okay, then the next one is something called as the on the job training. So on the job training, nowadays the firms, everybody must be familiar with the term internship, isn't it? So as soon as the students are graduating from the colleges or universities, of course they're having the qualification, but according to the needs of the company, they have to be trained. So that's why that internship, the training facility is provided by different forms according to their requirements. Earlier it was called as an apprenticeship. Now it is called as an internship. So whatever the name is, that this is like a kind of training to the educated person. So if that educated qualified person is given the proper training according to the requirements of a company, automatically that company will have the more productive labor force. So on the job training, which is provided by many firms. So you can mention example, internship. This increase the skill of their employees. Which in turn increases the productivity of labor force. So it is not only the basic qualification, training and also have to be provided to the labor force. Okay. Then apart from this, there are some more advantages because of education. So apart from the above, other benefits, something like as spillover income gains. So the meaning of spillover income gains is whatever the extra national income gained by the country because of the educated labor force. See, with a very mediocre labor force available in a particular country, there's a certain amount of national income generated. What is national income exactly? National income is nothing but the total output produced by all the in the country, isn't it? The national output converted in money terms becomes the national income. So let us assume in 2022 there is a certain amount of national income generated in a particular country with the available factors of production, with the available labor force in the country. Okay. And because of the improvement in the quality of education, because of the improvement or investment on education by the country in 2022, because of that, what happens in 2023, there will be an increase in the national income compared to what it was in 2022. There will be a additional national income contributed by the educated labor force of the country. So this extra national income is what is known as the spillover income gains. So extra overflowing. So this extra national income, it can be used for capital formation. So that can be again used for more investment on human capital or more investment on or anything. So what happens year after year, there will be additional national income generated in the country. So the spillover income gains, what it benefits both the present generation as well as the future generation. To put it very simply, an educated labor force contributes more to the national income than the uneducated or unskilled labor force. So whatever the extra income generated by the educated labor force, that can be used for capital formation. So the national income will start increasing rapidly. So that is the meaning here. So the spillover income gains to the present and future generations. And the next, meeting the, so this extra income can be used to meet the skilled manpower requirements. So manpower requirements means depending upon the nature of each and every country, you need, there should be a balance of all sorts of professionals in the country. So that is where you need a country needs a certain amount of doctors, a country needs a certain amount of chartered accountants, a country needs a certain amount of engineers, country needs a certain amount of lawyers, etc. There are so many categories of professionals and labor force available in the country, isn't it? So it should not be like only engineers are more in the country. It should not be like only the teachers are more in the country. So everything should be balanced. So what that is a manpower requirements. And what kind of manpower? That is skilled manpower requirements. So if suppose in a country in this particular year there is a shortage of nurses, shortage of doctors, so that extra spillover income gain can be utilized for the development of more and more of medical colleges in the country, so that more and more doctors will be available for the next year. So that is the meeting the skilled manpower requirements. And then development of research. So this requires a R&D. So this requires a tremendous knowledge that can be done in a country. Promotion of responsible behavior. The conduct of the people will improve. So we say no, education is not just reading and writing. That is literacy we say. There is a difference between literacy and education. Literacy, maybe you can, for the data, how much percentage of the population are literate in the country. So you can say 60%, 70%, 90%, so and so. So that is only maybe reading and writing skills. But there's a lot of difference between education and literacy. So education, we say normally it ennobles a human being. It ennobles the character of the human being. So automatically there will be a promotion of responsible behavior. So if all the people are educated in the country, then they won't behave irresponsibly. That's what the meaning is. And if there is a responsible behavior, automatically there will be political stability. Okay. So in a nutshell, these are all the some of the advantages of or role of education in the economic development. Okay. Now let us move on to what about the education in India. So education in India, one thing, the government is spending only 3% of the GDP, even though the target is to spend 6% of GDP. So still we are not able to do that. So as far as the literacy rates in India is concerned, of course, there is a tremendous improvement. It was only 18% in 1951. Out of that, male literacy was only 27% and female literacy was only 9%. That was in 1951. But as of 2011 census, the literacy rate in the country has improved to 74%. And male literacy, it is 82%. And female literacy is 66%. So still the female literacy in the country has to be improved. But in the recent years, there has been a tremendous growth rate in the female literacy. Okay. And periodically, the government has been passing several schemes, several policies to improve the education in the country. So as per Indian Constitution, so according to the Indian Constitution, so the Indian Constitution envisages free and compulsory education to all children up to the age of 14 by 1960. Okay, that was when the constitution was framed. The target was the government should provide free and compulsory education to primary education to all children between 6 to 14 years by 1960. But since the government is not being able to do that, it keeps on postponing every 10 years. And periodically, the government has been passing various national education policies. So initially it was, first time it was in 1964, 1968, then 1986. This 1986 provided the framework for national education policy. Then 1990, according to the situation. Initially, only primary education was given importance, but later in the 1986, 1990 and all, the higher education was given, secondary and higher education, the women education. So like that, according to the situation, the government was passing the national education policy. So very recently, the policy was announced by the government in 2020. The recent national education policy announced by the government. So this policy aims to transform India's education by 2030. So this policy aims to totally transform the nature of Indian education by 2020. India's education system by 2030. And apart from this, the government has been several schemes that are also being implemented by the government. One popular scheme is something called as the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. So this one was passed by the government in 2001. This is to provide universal elementary education, 6 to 14 years. So the target is by 2010, universal elementary education should be provided by the government. And another one is the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. So this one was in 2009. So this is to provide accessibility to quality secondary education. So Madhyamik. Okay, this is the another one. So because of all this, there are some achievements. Because of all the policies and the programs and the plans initiated by the government, there were some achievements. One is the gross enrollment ratio. So the gross enrollment, I mean, number of students getting admitted in school. That's what we say, the gross enrollment ratio. So the GR, especially in primary level, that is 6 to 14 years. So 6 to 14 years, it is almost like as high as 96%. This is according to 2013-14 data. And the next coming to secondary and higher secondary level. Is 14 to 18 years. So this is 40%. And third one, higher education, 25.8%. So at least the primary level, we have been successful, but still these are all, we have a long way to go. But then we all know that India have made a tremendous mark in the fields of IT, medicine, engineering, management. And India currently is the third largest educated and skilled manpower in the world, next to China. And when you see about the scientific and technical manpower in the world, India is third. First is China, second is US, and the third one is India. Okay, so we have we have great achievements also, but still we are some more importance focuses to be shifted to higher education and even to secondary and higher education. And also the quality of education should also be focused by the government. Okay, so done with the first part, that is education. So the next topic will be what is the role of health in the economic development and the health policies and health programs of India, which I will take in the next class. So if you find this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any doubts or suggestions, please mention in the comment box. Okay. So until my next video, next class, take care. Bye-bye.